Hello and welcome to the Imagine Amazing podcast, your home for all things Oregon HFMA, where we connect, learn, and lead together in the ever-evolving world of healthcare finance.
Today's episode marks an exciting milestone. We're kicking off a brand new chapter year, and that means it's time to welcome our new chapter president. Please join us in giving a warm Oregon HFMA welcome to Evan Martin.
Thanks, guys.
Evan brings incredible experience and collaborative spirit and a bold vision to this role. And this year, he's inviting all of us to take a step off the beaten path and into something inspiring. His presidential theme, Explore and Grow, #CampOregon. This isn't just a slogan, it's a call to action, a chance for every member, from seasoned leaders to brand new campers, to try something new, stretch professionally, and have a little fun along the way.
Before we dive into today's episode, we'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank one of our valued partners. This episode of Imagine Amazing is proudly brought to you by Professional Credit, a diamond sponsor of Oregon HFMA. For decades, Professional Credit has been a trusted partner in healthcare receivables, helping organizations improve financial performance while maintaining the highest standards of respect, compliance, and compassion. From early out services to insurance follow-up, coding, and legal collections, they understand the unique challenges of healthcare finance, and they bring a patient-first approach to every interaction. We're so grateful for their continued support and commitment to advancing healthcare financial management here in Oregon and beyond. Thank you, Professional Credit, for being a diamond sponsor and a dedicated supporter of our HFMA community. So, Evan, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Happy to be here. First time.
We're excited. And I'm really excited to just start off and have you tell us a little something about your background and how you first got involved with HFMA.
Yeah, so I don't have a very unique story. I think it's how most of us get involved is when I first moved from the SNF world to the acute setting and joined a health system. My site CFO was like, hey, you should really join like this association called HFMA. And he helped me enroll, and I started getting a magazine. I'd read the magazine every week or every month. And like, just kind of, that's what I thought the association was just, kind of a newsletter and magazine portion. And it wasn't until fast forward a couple of years later that I was asked to step in for a temporary position within revenue cycle as a revenue integrity program manager when the vice president of revenue cycle came up to me and said, hey, you really need to get involved in HFMA. And I was like, what do you mean? I get the magazine. What else is there? And she's like, there's committees, there's conferences, there's a host of other things. Here, let me get you in contact with Matt Navigato, and you need to get involved. And sure enough, I reached out to Matt, and it was, hey, we have this volunteer co-chair role for problem solving for the Oregon chapter. Why don't we slot you in there? And the rest has been history. Fast forward, several years later, I've had the pleasure of following Amanda De Los Reyes' footsteps the entire way. So she was my chair, and then I kind of just followed right along behind her all the way up to presidency now. So, I think it's not ununique to be a little voluntold by your leaders to get involved, but then at the same time, it's been inspiring, and it's part of like what's made me the leader who I am today is really being able to engage with my peers and follow along in the footsteps of many others. So, which kind of went along with my theme this year in pulling it out. So, yeah.
That is awesome, Evan. That's so cool. As you think about your journey so far in HFMA, what's been one of the most impactful things that has come through your volunteerism and, of course, now your leadership as well?
Yeah, I think there's two things that stand out there, Jeff, for me. I think the first thing is our chapter is so unique that we really are more of a family approach style. We welcome everybody to our chapter, whether you're a member of our chapter or just a visiting guest. We want you to feel fully embraced and immersed in who we are as a chapter. And that stood out from day one of people. I remember my first meeting with Salishan. I had no clue that we were supposed to dress up. It was Kim Carter's year, so it was a superhero theme, and everybody's running around in superhero stuff, and I'm in a full suit, not knowing what to expect. And people are like, "It's okay." They just took me under their wing, got me a drink, and invited me to come sit at a table with them and enjoy hanging out and getting to know everybody. Then fast forward a few years ago, I sadly lost my dad while we were at a leadership summit and at the conference, and the entire team rallied around me, got me flights home, packed my bags, tucked me into bed, made sure I got to the airport. And I think it just shows like we take it beyond just being a professional family, but actually like care about each other. And we would do that for anybody, whether it's a new member or whether it's an established member in our chapter or even just a visiting member. We're going to stand by somebody in their time of need and make sure that they get where they need to go and support. And that showed through this year too. We had a former president of our chapter have a loss in their family and have to pivot quickly and leave the conference, and everybody around that person made sure that they were able to get back to Portland safely and fly back home to attend to their family's needs. So I think it's just proves time and time again why we're that unique little gem in the Pacific Northwest that everybody should come enjoy.
Oh, Evan, that's so heartwarming. It makes me proud to be an Oregon HFMA member and proud to be part of the family. But I love that you shared those stories. That's really special. And now I think that you fast forward to your role now. You're president of the chapter, and it means you get to come up with the theme for the year, which, by the way, I love, Explore and Grow. It's so catchy. And I want to hear a little bit about what inspired that theme for you.
Yeah, honestly, like I toyed with like, what's my conference what's the theme of the party going to be? And sure. I went back and forth, and my partner Matt and Meredith Peterson actually helped me kind of really like sit down and think of like what were the things that I was trying to accomplish this year and bring back to the chapter and serve our chapter, as a servant leader component. And I think what really inspired it was I'm constantly looking and needing like education and wanting to grow as an individual and get that. So I think my personal theme in my professional career is really explore, try new things, and constantly grow. And what better way to do that than through camp and a camp theme? And I think the hashtag camp theme is just to remind everybody to have the fun portion while you're exploring and growing. So whether it's, tying it to how we do things personally or go from there, I think we all resonate in wanting to continue our professional and personal growth journey, and that's really opening up to the theme this year for us.
Oh, that's so good. I am also very excited about the theme. I thought your kickoff meeting was fantastic at Salishan. So much fun, and anyone there, I hope, is super excited for what's going to happen with Oregon this year. But as you think about your theme, how do you envision this theme coming to life for each individual member of the chapter throughout the year, both personally and professionally?
I think it ties back to our chapter success plan and really spending time with the individuals who got to go to Leadership Summit and really planning I can remember, Jeff, fast forward a year ago, rewind a year ago, right, when we were at LTC in Orlando, and we were sitting there in a room waiting for our delayed flight. And me really writing down like what were the things that I wanted to accomplish and how do I tie that back to the success of each individual member. And that's really where I think I see each member in value. We've been playing along with it even when we were at annual. We sent out a message to all of our Oregon camp counselors and Oregon campers to attend to do a big group photo. So we're just trying to play on that theme and tie it back so it's playful. But really what I'm hoping everybody gets out of it is, we want to bring new value back to our members through our programs and our enterprise membership, reimbursement, and DEI and networking committees. And I'm challenging our committee chairs and our board members to really think outside the box about how do we get more member engagement and bring that member engagement back and improve our satisfaction. So the voice of all of you as our chapter members is what's key to us, is really being able to hear that real time and not waiting for it. And then even tying it to our excellence-ness around how do we participate and collaborate through member engagement, and really asking member engagement, our committee member committee team, not just to focus on like renewing members, but how do they expand and get students back involved and link with universities and expand what we traditionally would do as our core of like keeping us going. But I want us to go beyond that, and I want us to increase the number of volunteers we have. And this year we have some record number of volunteers already out of the gate, and being new members actually joining us and wanting to volunteer. We have a few new members from a DEI networking committee that are actually interested in potentially stepping in as their incoming treasurer, and we're spending time with Meredith and learning about that. So I think we're already headed down that path, but I think it's about each of us individually connecting back and making sure your voice is heard, really about what are you needing for your professional education and more frequency of that. And part of that, I want to shout out to Jennifer Rich and her team here on the certification team, really hearing that and already embarking and bringing in new additional certification offerings and opportunities in the fall, where normally we would wait until spring for those.
I love that, Evan. I think it's so nice that you're engaging the entire leadership team with the chapter, because it takes all of us to do it. So it sounds like you've really come up with some good ways to engage them, challenge them, and set some key goals you have for the chapter about what you want this year to look like. I know that you shared with us at the last event some of the chapter planning that you're doing. Do you want to add any other context for our listeners to help them know what that means and what that looks like?
Yeah, I think this year for us as a chapter, it's really about expanding our horizons and how we partner with our region and other regions within HFMA as well. So we have some exciting things that I can't fully share yet, but we are partnering with the Hawaii chapter on an opportunity. We also are looking at embarking with our competition chapter, Washington, Alaska, and how we could even do some Southwest Washington networking to better serve both of our communities there, where there's not really a division, but those organizations tend to kind of either fall one way or the other, or they don't get engaged. So we really want to re-embark in that and how we can partner with them. And looking at just across our entire region, and I'm super excited. Jeff is going to be connecting me with some Tennessee chapter members from A&I. We didn't get an opportunity there, but wanting to see how we can actually tie in with other chapters in other states of how we can embark and learn from them, and then bring their learnings back to us. And we're going to be stealing a Colorado thing. Tammy and I are working on a future webinar around what makes our chapter great, and what do you get as an enterprise member, and what do you get as a non-enterprise member, and how you can engage in becoming part of our community more. And that's going to be coming up in a couple weeks, or probably in the next month, I think, is when we're scheduling to record it. So
I'm sure anyone listening can hear that there is a lot of excitement this year going on, a lot of elements that are in the move right now. Is there one particular area you're hoping to focus on and really grow during the year, whether that be membership, engagement, education, or innovation?
I think it's really around innovation and how we innovate, how we engage our members, and how we engage our education differently, and start thinking outside the box and bringing our members along as part of that educational process, and reinventing the wheel. I think we for our members, we used to serve 4 conferences that might not know, 4 conferences in person a year. And then we did 4 reimbursement workshops. Now we're moving to 2 conferences in person a year. And I'm pushing Kelly, who's over programs, and her team from a board perspective of thinking, can we do more programs virtually? Can we offer things that are at free cost to our chapter, but maybe we're charging a monetary fee to each of you as a member to ensure that your participation is present? Because there are times that we coordinate speakers and pay for that in the background, and we just want to make sure that we're not looking for a profit, but we're looking to break even so that we can ensure people are present and available there. And even how we deliver our seminars of certification seminars, or even our reimbursement, thinking reimbursement outside the box. Cecilia and her reimbursement team, Liana and Petra and others on their planning side from volunteers, have some really cool topics coming up that aren't just about payment reimbursement, but also about self-reimbursement and reimbursing back into yourself as a leader in an organization. So we're thinking it outside the box and trying to be innovative in that way. So it's not just that traditional topic to topic that we're used to.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really good. And it is a balance because you have members that have been coming to the chapter for years, and you want to make sure you keep things fresh for them. But you also want to make sure that you're bringing value to the young professionals and the new members who might be learning at the very beginning stages of what it means to be healthcare, finance, and revenue cycle. So what role do you see HFMA playing for those young professionals and new members in the industry?
I think HFMA is a huge opportunity for what I would call is early careerist in revenue cycle and finance areas, because it's not always a young member, right? It could be somebody who's been a nurse for years and now all of a sudden is helping do CDI or doing appeal processing and defense audits, and now they're learning about revenue cycle, and they have that opportunity to learn and join us as an association and a group. So I see it as all people who's new to the HFMA family as an early careerist in that stance. But I think where we have a huge opportunity to play is help shape and guide new graduates or soon to be graduates as well in their healthcare career. I grew up in healthcare. I was blessed. I started off as 14 washing dishes and as a medical records clerk, but not everybody gets that exposure. But we have such a vast opportunity in healthcare finance to engage and partner with early careerists in the sense of like about to step in. So I think us leveraging and having students leverage, and if you have, high school graduates, or you have going into college, or you have a recent college student there, we have free scholarships out of our chapter to give you to be engaged and be a member, or even have your family member be engaged with us. And I think that is a huge role where HFMA can help shape those individuals. And then people who are really earlier in their career in the sense of like, hey, I'm new to finance and HFMA, or into revenue cycles areas, it's just a great opportunity to connect with your peers, learn more, get certified, see what the issues are. And HFMA publishes so much from their own podcast and documents to even us doing this on, I'm excited that we're going to be doing this more on a monthly basis and getting back into it versus a couple times a year. But I think that in tune helps also shape the individuals, and the more conferences you go to really extends your networking and extends learning about your business partners, and are key too, because that you learn so much, and most of them have podcasts and free education that we can tap into that ties back to what we're learning in HFMA on a daily basis. So I think it's that whole compassing, Kelly, of like, how do we get all of our stuff out there, not just HFMA, but HFMA is that conduit of keeping people connected, I think.
That's great.
It is absolutely great. And I so appreciate your passion. I appreciate everything that you're saying. I'm super excited for everyone. And I know that when I spoke to you, this theme of Camp Oregon is more than just a theme, right? You want it to be an experience for the members. So for anyone listening and for our members, what should they expect to experience during this coming year?
Yeah, I think what they should expect is everything's going to be camp themed. All of our board of directors are camp counselors. Your officers are the head counselors. And then your chairs and committee members are really those junior counselors coming up in the portion. And our goal is really to help guide you and help support you through your individual HFMA and organizational HFMA journeys. So for our enterprise members listening, reach out to Sunshine, reach out to Val, reach out to Caitlin. They are going to be your camp camp counselors to support your organizations and maximizing your enterprise memberships. And for individual members who might not be part of an enterprise group, the rest of us are here to help maximize that. So reaching out to us, looking at our website is going to be key as well. We have a few tweaks that we're going to do and call out which level of camps to really tie it out this year to make it a little bit more fun. But we're here to really engage, and every experience that we're going to have, whether it's a networking event or a conference, is tied back to some form of a camp theme, and continuing that through all the way up to next Salishan, which I'm hoping you guys will get Tammy on so that she can drop what her incoming theme is going to be. But we're going to tie them together a little bit for the first day of that conference.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Can't wait.
And Evan, you've done a really nice job talking about the value that HFMA offers to our members and young professionals coming into the industry. But if I'm brand new to the chapter, you've talked a little bit about workshops and webinars and networking events. Can you help our new members get a better picture of what that might look like this next year?
Yeah, so our reimbursement committee will be hosting 4 virtual workshops that will range anywhere from a $25 or $75 or $25 to $50 registration fee, and that's just to serve your spot. And that we're just piloting that year, but it's going to range from topics around full reimbursement like NTAP add-ons and how organizations are underutilizing those add-on payments, especially in our Medicare funding crisis, where we still have that available, where you can get additional payments for technology or medications that your organizations are piloting. And that's not just for health systems, that is for provider medical practice groups as well. We're also going to start to target some of our medical provider groups as well. We've done a great job of covering our health systems for years, where they both have HB, our hospital and professional services, but we really want to get more of our medical practice groups in our Oregon region engaged with us and partnering. So we are going to be trying to target some of our education and networking around there, and really networking events around DEI and bringing in students as well. So, and that's not just high school students. I know that's been a long vision, but that's also re-engaging our colleges and universities throughout the Oregon markets to be able to bring them in Southwest Washington, because we really want to make sure we're tapping into those areas. And we're actually doing some targeted outreach to some health systems who have members but don't have a lot of participation in our different events, and making sure that we're helping them get networking and communication out to their team members who are members of our community and engaged a little bit more.
So incredible. You know, just listening to you talk, Evan, I can feel your passion. I hope that everyone listening to the podcast can do that as well and get to know you a little bit better. You're also so thoughtful in everything that you're doing. So because our listeners don't yet know you 100%, why don't you share a little bit about your own leadership style, what you hope the individual members of Oregon HFMA and anyone who interacts with Oregon HFMA will experience under your leadership this coming year?
Yeah, I'm kind of I don't know, I can be a little bit bossy at times, and that's just my type A, but it's really more about getting everybody connected and engaged. I think, you know, I reflect back at our last board meeting at Salishan back in May, where I said to all of our board of directors, hey, we're going to have monthly check-ins. And really that monthly check-in for those board of directors is we have a wide range this year of seasoned board members and brand new board members who came up through the ranks during our pandemic period, where, you know, we didn't have as much connectivity and in-person and mentorship available. So we really are resetting our target this year of having that, where we're going to be partnering, and I'm just here to remove barriers, and that's what the officers are here for. We're here to serve our board, and our board is here to serve you as a community, and that's how we really want our leadership style to be approached, with a little bit more structure. And I love Robert's Rules of Order, so I tend to tie us back into that in those meetings. But we want to be inclusive. At the same time, we also want to make sure that we're helping guide us for the future success of us as a chapter, and that's really key for us, is both be financially sound, but also chapter member strong.
So Evan, I have a question for you then. If you think ahead to this next year and our members that we serve, what is one thing you hope our members can take away from your presidency?
I think the one thing that I hope that they take away is that they had fun and that they got to explore and grow a little bit this year as an individual. And that's stretching their personal wings and coming to a conference or a networking event where they may be a little shy to do that on their own and know that we're going to embrace them in opening arms. Or that might mean, hey, you know what? I've always looked at these certifications, and this year I'm going to really embark on, getting one or two of those and partnering with the certification team on making sure that I'm helping stretch my own professional growth as an individual as well.
All right, Evan. Amazing responses, by the way. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast today. It's been remarkable. I want to just have you take a moment, look ahead 1 year. What will a successful year at Camp Oregon look like for you?
I think success to me is two things. Because I'm a little competitive and a little type A, is I really want our chapter to bring home some chapter success awards at the next leadership summit and really be recognized, because we're already recognized nationally as the fun chapter and a leading chapter in innovation. I want us to re-get those awards and get there. So at least walking away with one award, whether it's a co-award beyond our regional award, co-chapter to chapter award, or even an individual award, I think and I think ultimately I want you as our members, I want our engagement scores to go up, and I want to see more of you out there and active, and I want to see us having more of a presence beyond our normal members who just attend. I love them and I want them to continue to attend, but I want to see us at least increase about 5 to 10% additional new people more frequently attending our events and things outside of what the traditional members are. So
that's awesome. So excited.
I'll tell you, Evan, what I think I heard today that I'm really excited about is the 4 networking events that we're planning this next year. That's innovative. That's new. We've never done anything like that. And when you talk about creating opportunities for people to come together, I think that's really fantastic. So I hope our listeners today are keying in on that and will come and join and attend and get to know our chapter a little bit better.
Me too.
So, are you ready to pack your professional camp kit? Here's how to get started. Subscribe and listen to Oregon HFMA's Imagine Amazing podcast, which is available on all popular podcast platforms. Next, follow the chapter on social media. We're active on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. You can join us at Oregon HFMA's camp workshops, conferences, and online webinars, and make connections at our camp networking events. And of course, don't miss the Western Region Symposium in January. It's the ultimate camp reunion.
And for all of you listening to the podcast, I'm sure you've heard this year is all about community, courage, and growth. Whether you're learning a new skill, leading a team, or just looking to reignite your passion for the profession, Camp Oregon HFMA has a spot for you. Evan can't wait to connect with each of you throughout the year, and neither can we.
Evan, thanks so much for joining us today and helping us learn a little bit more about your vision. You had great commentary. And for our listeners, we want you to lace up your boots, bring your curiosity, and get ready to explore, grow, and have some fun. This year is your year at #Camp Oregon. Thanks for tuning in to Oregon HFMA's Imagine Amazing podcast. Thank you again to this episode's sponsor, Professional Credit. Be sure to subscribe and share this episode, and we look forward to hearing from our listeners and see you all at camp.